those of you who don't know what Outward Bound is, you're the lucky ones. I'm not so fortunate. Outward Bound is a program dedicated to spending 6 days on a canoe maneuvering through the Florida Everglades National Park until you arrive at your destination. Not all of us have gone on Outward Bound, and most of us will never go on it, but we can all relate to it in the sense that everyone here has been in a situation where you're pulled out of your comfort zone, which is what Outward Bound strives to attain. I participated in the program as a mandatory requirement for my high school, so I can recount my time there and share with you the skills I learned and the knowledge that I acquired. Today I'm going to share ways to survive Outward Bound by revealing what to bring, following the rules, dodging the dangers, and getting the most out of your experience. To begin, I wouldn't wish Outward Bound on anyone, but if you do find yourself in the position to attend, there are a few things I wouldn't go without. The first is your attire. I recommend all waterproof attire. What you're allowed to bring is very minimal, so I honestly didn't change clothes once, so I know that's gross, but I don't think any of you would either. Also, waterproof shoes can make or break you. I suggest the ones with the hard soles. They're better. Protective repellents can make your trip more tolerable too. No one wants to have a sunburn the whole time or have bad bug bites. According to a web article from WebMD titled "High SPF Sunscreens, Are They Better?" written by Saline Boyles, Florida dermatologist James Spencer shares that an SPF 15 blocks about 94% of UVB rays, SPF 30 blocks about 97%, and SPF 45 blocks about 98%. After that, there's not much difference. So he tells his patients to use SPF 30, which is what you guys should bring on Outward Bound too. Since you're constantly in the sun, it's important to reapply it, and I would stay away from the gels and sprays because they come off really easily. Another thing you want to look out for is the dangerous animals. We were pretty much only told to look out for two, which were the alligators and the snakes. Alligator attacks aren't common, but if you do run into one, you're going to want to know what to do. A web article found on the Black Hammock Adventures website titled "How to Handle an Alligator Encounter" stated, while alligator attacks on humans are rare, they do occur. More than 200 unprovoked alligator attacks have been documented since 1948, with 14 resulting in fatalities. That's not a lot, but you should be ready for them, and if an alligator ever does approach you, you're supposed to run in a straight line away from them. They can only outrun you for about 10 meters, but if you are in the water, they'll outswim you every time. So, also, you want to watch out for snakes. The Florida cottonmouth, which we know as the water moccasin, it's not as harmful as you think, but everyone knows them as being harmful, and I wouldn't really want to mess with one. These things can make your trip more tolerable and comfortable, and when you're more comfortable, you're less irritable, so you're better able to follow the strict rules that they put upon you. Food had a lot of rules behind it. Basically, you were only allowed to eat what they gave you that day, whether you liked it or not. That was what you got, and they went by a motto that was the "No Food Left Behind" motto. So what would happen was each participant at the beginning was given a bowl and a spoon, and that was with you the whole time, and each of your meals was placed in that bowl and spoon. And at the end of each meal, your counselor would check and make sure you licked off every part of your meal before you could put it in the water and wash it away. Just to show you how strict they were, if you wanted to eat an apple, you had to eat the entire thing, and the counselor demonstrated how to eat the core and everything. Needless to say, I did not eat an apple the whole trip. They took food that you had brought on the trip, they took it away from you. Also, chocolate wasn't allowed at all, but there was an exception. One of the counselors felt really bad for me because earlier that day my bag fell off the canoe and I had a wet sleeping bag, so she gave me M&Ms because I didn't sleep the whole night. Also, no electronics. If someone caught you with an electronic, you had consequences. One girl snuck on a cell phone and she was in charge of getting the anchor out of the mud after Lowe's had each time, so it's really not worth it. My biggest rule that I had the most problem with is you weren't allowed to touch the ground the entire time. So for bathrooms, you girls had to crouch over the canoe. Guys, it was easier for, obviously. And if you guys go number 2, there was a bucket called the Groover that traveled with us everywhere. And honestly, the majority of my group didn't ever even use it. Also, you're probably wondering if we never touched ground how we slept. Basically, we would tie the canoes together, and then we had wooden boards on the bottom that we brought up and made a flat surface on top of the canoes. Then you had poles on each side with like a lining, a wire lining. You attach your helium hammock to there, put your sleeping bag in, and zip yourself up, and then you're ready for the most uncomfortable sleep of your life. Helium hammocks are designed to keep the bugs away, kind of like tents. Okay, and if you're wondering how we bathed or showered, we didn't. Although everything I've mentioned seems to be really horrible, and do not get me wrong, it was, the goals of the trip were definitely appreciated, and I learned a lot from the experience. The goal was teamwork and essentially being pulled from your comfort zone. So you're in a strange place with random people that you don't know, and we all learned how to work together really well. Maybe the issues we worked out in Outward Bound aren't the same ones that we have in real life, but the concept of teamwork is the same. According to an article called Importance of Teamwork at Work, written by Arnold Anderson, a team that works well together understands the strengths and weaknesses of each member. One of the benefits of strong teamwork in the workplace is that team leaders and members become proficient at dividing up tasks so they are done by the most qualified people. This idea of delegation we used a lot in Outward Bound. As the trip went on, we found out who was better at what, making each day a lot easier. Outward Bound helped me take a lot of things that I take for granted, like accessibility to constant water, a warm bed, and stuff like that. It made me realize. The reason I probably associated so many things of Outward Bound as being bad was just because it wasn't a lifestyle I was used to. I would not necessarily do it again, but it was an experience with helpful life lessons I will never forget. As we conclude today, I realize that Outward Bound isn't all bad. Being pushed from your comfort zone leads to lessons that stick for life and can help you every day. If you ever do take a trip like it, remember to bring the essentials, to stay away from danger, and most importantly, try to eliminate the negatives to realize the positives that can come from such an experience. Lastly, I will leave you with some words from an article called A Head Shrinker's Guide to the Galaxy by Jennifer Kunst. To the unconscious mind, sameness equals safety and change equals danger.